I'm ready to get on with this review. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of knowledge about a book series I have never read or even knew existed before getting this TTRPG book from my friend for Christmas.
Oh, cool. Does that mean we're not doing this script this time?
No, we're still doing the script. Let's see, we're at your line, so start us off.
Fine. Okay, crap, I can't remember how I was supposed to start this.
Let's see, your line is, David, what the hell is wrong with your face? Wait. What the hell? I didn't write this. What the hell is this?
Hold on, let's see that script. It looks like it's, Dean Steeler's personal journal?
Well, shit, I should get this back to him. As curious as I am, this is his own business, and I'll respect him.
Really? You read one line and it's shit-talking you and you just let it go?
Yeah, why not? It's his opinion, and that's a completely reasonable opinion. He's not human, so he'd probably likely see me as hideous. I'd expect the same out of you and Trazen, honestly.
I actually understand that, I'll be honest. I don't find you humans appealing at all. Your bones and bodies are so weird and thick, and you have so few bones in those cadavers of yours.
Yeah, that's something we actually brought up in my discussion about xenobiology, but with the original script idea out the window, screw it. You read books from time to time, right?
I've only been reading the King James edition of the Holy Bible, trying to learn and understand the King of the Universe.
Good on you, but that doesn't help us out, unfortunately. This RPG is based off a book series I've never heard of until getting this RPG book, so a lot of the information about the game is kind of unknown to me. A lot requires the previous information. This RPG is called the Stormlight Handbook. Kind of a horrible name, but at least it connects its subject material to this game. This book actually has a chapter saying you should be thinking about what sort of character you want to make. We can't really do that here because I don't know this novel series, the Stormlight Archive. So let's skip that. 2 more paragraphs on this subject with 2 more flavors. Okay, now, character creation. It's 8 steps. Each of these we will need to go into a bit of details, but let's see. Origins, starting paths, attributes, skills and expertises, talents, equipment, story, and then finalize. Let's go over each of these, which we'll look at the character sheet because this won't be easy for me. First up, origins. This is broken into 2 steps, ancestry and culture. I assume ancestry is your race. Chapter 2 of this book goes into that. You'll get any bonuses from said ancestry. Culture gives you various options between expertises, and you'll choose 2 from the list. This also appears in Chapter 2, so let's hit both of these nails in one swing. Going to Chapter 2, this goes into more about occupations, identity, which is another matter that ages this game, factions, and such. But I want the races and cultures, so let's dig into that. 2 races, human and singer. Human have various different cultures about them, while singers have different body types. As a human, you'll gain an extra talent at various levels, 1 in every 5 levels after going up to level 21. I don't know if this game goes any further than that, but this allows further details. Let me take a quick look. Looks like it does not go above 21. 21 is the cap. Cultures are apparently extra important for humans in this setting, though. This world is called Roshar.
Neat!
Singers are much more, though. At level 1, they get a unique talent tree and the change form ability. And every 5 levels after, they get a singer-specific bonus talent. which I wonder if that's tied to the talent tree they chose at level 1. Forms have a whole tree specifically involving them. I don't know how to read this. Maybe you need to go from one form into another form, but this already makes me uncomfortable because the change form of default ability gives 2 forms at the default. One of them, why does this exist in this TTRPG? There's the dull form, which is essentially human, then mate form. And this is meant for those hitch to fuck. It even says this form is meant only for reproduction. Why is this here? Change form leads into either finesse, wisdom, or resolve, which each has 2 forms for the specific things. All of these lead into the ambitious mind, which has a requirement of a stat, which then leads into destruction, expansion, or mystery, each with 2 more forms. I don't know if these overwrite the previous forms, but I really don't want to talk about the mate form at all. Culture. Now, this has a lot more junk to it, which we won't go into heavy details. I'll say there's a lot of these, and it doesn't actually list what you gain. It writes your expertise options in a story form. So you'll have to essentially go through this tiny 1-paragraph story to figure out what, where, how, and why. There's 13 human cultures with 1 other if you want to make your own, but Singer seems to essentially be a thrall race, though some gain freedom and become, quote, listeners, which I feel like I would understand this if I read the book, but moving on. Paths are up next. They're essentially your classes. There's 6 in the core rulebook, each with a sort of vibe behind it. Let's touch on that really quick. Agent is your rogue. Envoy is your bard. Hunter is your ranger. Leader is your buffer. Scholar is your healer or knower. And warrior is your, well, warrior. Simple. Now, you get 12 points to spread across 6 stats, and you can bring any stat up to 3 at character creation before getting the racial bonuses. But you can have any stat at 0. The stats are as follows: strength, speed, intellect, willpower, awareness, and presence. Looking at the sheet, you'll also see a defense score connected to each, 10 plus the 2 attribute scores. Now, these tie into other things. Strength determines lifting capacity, speed determines movement rate, willpower determines recovery die, and awareness determines your sense range, essentially how far you can see and hear and such. Now we get into expertise and skills. Starting with the skills, you've got 18 options, and you'll spend 4 points among them, with nothing above a 2. In Chapter 3, we find them: agility, athletics, crafting, deception, deduction, discipline, heavy weaponry, insight, intimidation, light weaponry, lore, medicine, perception, persuasion, stealth, survival, and thievery. Each of these is tied to an attribute, and that attribute determines the bonus you'll get to that skill. I don't know how it affects it, but then we go into expertise. I assume, though, that your score in that attribute means that skill that gets multiples of that. Expertise is kind of like a specialization, where if a certain thing involving certain skills is used, you'll get another bonus on top of the things. So we really don't need to delve too deep into that, but it's quite a bit, weirdly enough, despite sounding so simple. Now, on to talents. This is tied to your path and ancestry. Humans get an extra path talent, while singers get their form shit. Skipping story, because that's pure roleplay, we go into the calculations. Health is 10 plus your strength plus any other bonuses. Focus is your ability to stay on subject, and that's 2 plus your willpower and any other bonuses. Investiture is apparently something for higher levels, and it tells me to go to chapter 5 to figure that, but I don't really care. Now, this system looks like it's an adapted Pathfinder 2nd edition D20 system, which I actually kind of like. So if you know that, you know what you're rolling with. Score time! This book isn't straightforward, but it isn't an absolute mess. If I read the novel series it's based on, I'd probably like it a lot more. I'd give this game an 85%. It's pretty decent, honestly, on a systemic judgment level. But I'm going to go do packing. I've got plans. Shove off!